So, I mean, what were your reactions when you knew that you guys would be working together?
I was really excited. I mean, our relationship is mostly mutual admiration.
Mm-hmm.
Give me your number. We're both in Detroit. Hey, let's work together. All right, see you later.
Right.
You know, then next premiere. Hey, girl.
It's good to see you. How
Let's
you
work
been?
together.
Right. I
All
can't wait to
right.
work with you.
Yeah.
Whenever.
Did you go to cast too? Or?
No, I went to Cooley.
Oh.
Yeah,
Cool
Wayne
cast,
State.
yeah.
Yes, true.
Anyway.
You're probably like the 5th person I've met from Detroit that didn't go to cast.
Yeah, and there are quite a few of us actually, that didn't feel like we needed to go there.
Wow.
That we were getting, the education we needed.
But you know what? I was doing a play with Kerry, Race, on Broadway.
Yeah.
For David Mamet, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the producers all came to see Kerry, as everyone did. Everybody famous came to see her. Who came to see me? The dance captain. David, it's me. But they came to see her, and I think in the context of Race, which is a very serious play, maybe they saw. I mean, that's where the dialogue started, and she was like, "I'm telling them all about you. I'm gonna hook you up," and she did. And that's why I'm here. So, and then I heard that you were doing it, and I was really happy about it.
If on film, I can't recall seeing you being able to use so much of your comedic talent, since in Living Color. I mean, it was very refreshing to just see your range.
It was fun. I mean, my thing is like, I'm all about feeding the project. You know what I mean? It's like, how much, what do you want? And trusting in Tina, it's her vision. It's not every day that you get to work with the writer and the director. So it's a first-time director, female director. So I felt like I wanted to support her because, in the realm of film, it's her first time out, and every question comes to that director. Do you want these people sitting here? Is it too light? Is it too dark? Do you like the curtains? Should there be a tablecloth on? I mean, that's the culture of film.
Yeah,
I mean, it all comes down to the director, So I kind of wanted to support her, and as opposed to be like, oh, I'll get this.
We heard there were rehearsals and that you were encouraged by her actually to come up with things.
Yeah.
Can you both talk about that, or what? I mean, the disco history that you got with your headdress and stuff, and the music is really the nicest surprise in the movie for me.
Yeah, I mean, when I took the job, I knew that the character had this history of singing, and which is why I decided to ask them to let me do it. But basically, for me, those moments where I'm doing my African dance workup, that we had a choreographer for it, but I didn't do the choreography. I just did what I felt, and Tina was like that. She was like, just do what's comfortable, but this is her moment. And so I did some of the choreography, but most of it was just like things that I thought that she would be doing in the middle of this sort of stupor, her morning stupor. But Tina was very open for things like that, and she'd see how we reacted to one another off camera, and sometimes she would see those things and say, put that in. And so it was fun. We stayed within the boundaries of her script, but she allowed us to step out of the box every now and then and participate from just the character work that we were, or just the things that we were learning from one another. The fun things, the small things that might not be in a script, their relationship, how they touch each other, that kind of thing, what they doing,
David, I love your character. Talk about how much fun that was for playing for you.
Well, I love playing the evil, mean father. There was one thing, I tell you what, there was a part of him that was my, no, I mean, he's playing that, he's playing it. There's a man coming to ask for my daughter's hand, and it's a very traditional thing, I forget where I was. I went to a wedding in Mexico, and part of, the Catholicism, very heavy Catholics, and, he had to ask for the hand of his fiancée, and the priest, everybody, they line up and they go, no, you're not good enough. I mean, the whole thing is it's a test. That young man is supposed to go and prove that he's good you have to declare your love publicly. No, I love your daughter so much. I will climb this wall. I will prove myself worthy of her. And then they say yes. You know, that kind of thing. So that's the traditional part of it, but which I love playing, and some of it is part of my dad. I mean, I was thinking about when I told my father something crazy in the family. I was like, "Do you realize that I set fire to the house?" I knew he didn't know anything about it. He was like, "Of course I do." You know, and that's very Virgil. Like, he's trying to hold it down. Like, "Oh, I know what you're doing." Inside his head, it's like, "What the fuck just happened? Nobody told me this." So there's that dichotomy. I love playing that. It was fun.
Can you talk a little bit about the fact that this kind of was built? This story was built around more of a culture than an ethnicity, and it could have been literally expanded into any. Yeah, like
It's
it
a
could have been an
universal
ensemble,
story. Yeah, it's not like, only black people.
Right.
We're not doing like Umoja. Yeah, no, it's what everybody goes through. But I mean, it's a family comedy. It is a romantic comedy, and romantic comedies, we all know. Boy meets girl, there's some impediment, boy loses girl, they reconcile at the end, that's the formula, Now within that formula, just like a action adventure film, when it's done well, with some inventiveness and freshness and good cast and writing, then it elevates, so that's all we're trying to do.
I think that's what's going to ultimately sit with the audience too, is that they're going to be able to sit there no matter where they come from and find someone in their family or find a moment that's happened in their family that they'll see on the film, because it is quite a universal subject.
Would you all let your daughter marry a Peabody singing, I don't know, a singer-songwriter who sings about pee? I guess that's what I'm trying to ask.
To 5-year-olds.
Or what?
That's where he started. Depends how much he's making. I'm kidding. But, there's a lot in common. I mean, when we meet, I'm a musician. I was a young musician. I became a judge.
I love that.
I wasn't this pompous judge when we met. She was a star. And I was in the backup band, but she saw potential in me.
Yeah.
And saw where I was
you went.
going. Exactly.
Backstory.
So where I was going. So that, when you look at it like that, I think that's why the judge is harder on Craig's character, because he sees a lot of himself in that young man, this musician. We don't know what's going to happen in 20 years. He may be, part of Sesame Street 2 or something. I mean, it all came from the Pee-Pee song. We don't know.
Hate to be a judge too.
You know what I'm saying?
Two things, like you had really good chemistry with Melvin.Peeples. So
Love Melvin.
did you guys already know each other?
Well, Melvin and I met. I know Mario, and when we did Badass. First of all, as a young actor, when I was in Detroit at University of Michigan, we had Melvin's LP version of his musical. You cut up the clothes in the closet of my life. That was, all that stuff. Those are the lyrics. So I knew all that. I'm a big fan. Melvin.Peeples, he was legend when we were little kids.
Yeah.
Sweetback Badass song. It was rated X. I wasn't allowed to see it. But as a kid, you experience culture differently. I was like, what's in that movie? That movie must really be crazy. I can't see it. But I say, and in Detroit back in those days, all the black stations, rated X. This is for adults. You can't get, you can't get to this. So it made it even more legendary. And coming to learn that they broke that film in Detroit, in particular, in this small cinema, and how the black community came and kept coming. And that's really what was a pivotal point for the success of that movie. So meeting him then and again, we would talk all the time. Plus Diane Carroll would tell us crazy stories. She told us a story. She said she gave this party when she had this badass apartment on like 96th Street back in 1970. Melvin.Peeples came. He said, I'm almost there. He came with big cigar, afros, glasses, hat, and he had hot pants and roller skates. And he roller skated uptown and arrived there with Mario. When Mario was a little kid, they both roller skated at the party. And Diane Carroll is always Diane Carroll. She's snatched and flawless. And she said, well, Melvin, he came in there with those roller skates in my apartment. I mean, those stories for me, I love
God.
that. So we loved
Yeah.
hanging out with them. They took
Yeah.
us out to dinner, and I was just proud of them. And I love
Can
those
you
guys.
talk-
Piggybacking on that.
Yeah.
I would, okay.
Piggybacking on that, like both of you have been in this a long time.
Mhm.
So how special is it now to be in this moment where there was such a paucity of black films, and now you see people like Tina Gordon Chism coming, into the forefront and so forth. So like, how has it changed in the times that you guys have been working in this industry?
Well, it's changed. It's changed somewhat. I certainly think there is still a lot of room for improvement. But the fact that Kerry is doing a leading role on a television series is showing you that things have changed because of the length of time it took between those two events, between Julia and Scandal. What I think is important is that young people are making films. They're trying to make films, and this equipment that we have is making it a lot easier. So hopefully the stories will be just as good. And I think Tina is one of the young folk who are is really doing some great work. And I look forward to seeing what she's coming up with next.
I wanted, since you both have worked with Kerry before, and you just brought up this historic thing that she's doing, which they're downplaying. There was a New York Times piece where nobody really wanted to talk about the fact that she was the first.
in 30 years.
Yeah, exactly. They don't see the show that way. And can you both talk about Kerry, your impressions about her, and how or why she's got this
I'll tell you right
magical career that she's had?
now, I don't like her. Just understand the big deal.
Difficult to work with.
Impossible. You heard the screaming in the hallway. Well, you know what? The thing I love about Kerry is she's all glamorous and all wonderful. Like when we first did Little Man together, the Wayans movie, and we did Race, and specifically during Race, Anna Wintour, Julian Bond would come the next night. Kerry's out of the show. Why is she sick? Did she get hit by a car? No, she has to go to the White House. The rest of us, bunions, hurting back. Oh, I gotta call out sick. She was fabulous. She was glamorous every night. You understand? I was on stage one time. This young black woman was smiling. I was like, man, she loves me, right? And when I would talk, I could see she was looking around me. She was looking for Kerry.
Right.
Because Kerry was standing up stage. Every time Kerry would move, she'd be like, she'd start smiling. When Kerry walked off stage,
It's hard not to hate her, isn't
you know what I'm saying? And I was like,
She's
oh my God, I
adorable.
had to tell Kerry. But these, especially young women of color, adore. She's an icon.
Yeah.
She is fashion,
adorable.
cultural,
Smart.
and
She's extraordinarily brilliant.
but she wears it well.
And